Hello, and welcome to the Chapter 7 video on solving quadratics. So a couple things we need to think about is why do we factor, all right? Our goal here is we're trying to find the zeros of the equation, which are the answers that make the equation true, also known as the solutions or roots. All right, please understand something. There's a lot of different ways we can see it. These are the main two reasons, or main two ways we will say what makes the equation true. It's either solutions or roots. All right, so just remember before we get into it, anything times 0 is 0. So if we had 4 times 0, that is 0. And then if we think what times 4 equals 0, it would also be 0. So the reason we're going to do this is what we're really going to do is combine what we've done with factoring into solving quadratics. So we'll get down to two parentheses, and notice the equation is equal to 0, all right? So we know that any number times 0 equals 0. This is called the zero product property, all right? Or, as I like to refer to it, the ZPP, all right? You down with ZPP? Yeah, you know me. What's the ZPP? The zero product property. Okay, sorry, just, sometimes just makes me want to sing. All right, so if we have what is above, we would know that either r plus 5 equals 0 or r minus 3 equals 0. Then the result would be 0. This is what we do. We set each factor to 0 and solve. So I'm going to put r plus 5 equal to 0. And then over here, I'm going to do r minus 3 equals 0. All right, so what I'm really going to do from here is just solve each of these equations. If it's plus 5, I want to subtract 5 on each side. So I'd know that r equals negative 5. And then I go through the other side and do the same thing. So a separate equation, r plus 3 or r minus 3 equals 0. So I'm going to add 3 to each side. So r equals 3. All right, so our solutions are r equals negative 5 or r equals 3. If we plugged either of these two answers into this parenthesis, it would make the equation true. And think about it. We have two parentheses, so we should have two answers here. All right, and think about the square of the quadratic. When we have a quadratic and something squared, that's telling us we really should get two solutions. Okay, so 3 problems here at the bottom that we'll go through, and then there'll be a you try. All right, I find it easy to just kind of put the arrows here. All right, I'll show you another way to do it for the next one. This one works for me. X minus 2 equals 0, and then I do the other one, x minus 3 equals 0. All right, and then we solve each of them. Okay, for the first one, we're going to add 2 to each side. So x equals 2. For the other one, we go through and add 3. So x equals 3. So we have two solutions here. X equals 2 or x equals 3. Okay. All right. So now for the next one, notice here we don't have two parentheses, but it's still the same thing. We have two things multiplied together that give us 0. We have x and x minus 1. So the other way you can do it is kind of make a squiggly line here and do x equals 0 on one side and x minus 1 on the other side, okay? Just showing you other options. I'm probably going to do more of the one with the arrows because I like it separate so you guys can kind of see it a little bit better, all right? But you can still do the squiggly in between the parentheses or the two things that are being multiplied. This one's nice because when we do the first part here, we would get x equals 0. It's already done for us, right? Now for the other one, we're going to have to add 1 to each side, and x equals 1. So our two solutions here are x equals 0 or x equals 1. Okay? All right, number 3. Okay, same thing. I'm going to put my arrows off to the side and say 3x minus 2 equals 0. And the other one, I'm going to say 2x plus 3 equals 0. The process is still the exact same. We're still going to set each of the parentheses equal to 0 and then solve them. So for the first part, I'm going to add 2 to each side. So now I've had 3x equals 2. So I have an extra step here. I'm going to need to divide each side by 3. So x equals 2/3. All right. So now we have our second one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to subtract 3 from each side. So we'll have 2x equals -3. And now we're going to divide each side by 2. So, once again, we have our two solutions here. All right, x equals 2/3 or x equals -3/2. Okay, so we have one more here for you guys to try, the you try. So please make sure you do that one for us. All right, and once you finish copying down all these notes, please submit them through Teams. If you have any questions for us, please let us know. Have a great day. Bye.